in a rush and you're like everything just goes wrong. Like, I don't know if it's happened to you, but you're in a rush and you're trying to do this and you get this and then this falls on the floor and you break this, and it's like, if you would have just slowed down, you could have avoided a lot more stress. Hi, my name is Eliani. I'm a licensed tattoo artist and I do offer life coaching services as well. Welcome or welcome back. Today I want to share with you a chapter of the book that I'm writing. I'm really excited to share this with you. By the way, disclaimer, everything in this book is from experience. I am by no means a doctor or therapist. I take in every single lesson from every life experience that I've ever had. And I spent a lot of time studying neuroscience, and I study a lot of successful people. I think that has helped me understand how to manage things a bit better, get through maybe difficult situations a bit better, perhaps have better relationships, because I had more of a difficult time through certain experiences and through certain relationships that perhaps could have been a bit easier knowing everything then that I do now, and everything that I've written in this book are all of those lessons could potentially help you navigate through life and difficult moments in the best possible manner. But I think the difficult moments are the ones where we forget to have grace and patience and optimism. So I hope this book helps. By the way, I understand that I'm looking into different directions here, but that is because I'm recording with both my phone and my camera, and so you're gonna see me look back and forth. I just didn't want you thinking, this weirdo, why is she like looking everywhere, what's going on? But that's what's happening. We begin awareness by exiting autopilot mode and slowing down. I definitely was in autopilot mode for many years. And now that I have a little bit more consciousness and self-awareness in the present moment, I think about those times often, and I still sometimes will catch myself like walking a little bit too fast, and I'm like, wait, I'm in no rush. And even if I was, like, it's only gonna frustrate me more if I'm just hesitating and walking and speeding, literally speeding as I walk and speeding through traffic. But in reality, it brings us more chaos. So, for example, this time that I was in traffic, this was many years ago, and I had a G35 coupe, and it's a little car with a V6 in it, so it moves a little bit. And so I was just speeding through traffic, and I get to a point where it's bumper to bumper. I'm like, I can't go anywhere, and I'm like pissed, excuse my French. I'm running late already, like, oh, this, it's just the whole thing. And then the person in front of me goes, like, slow down, like, relax. In the moment I was like pissed. I'm like, fuck you, like, why? I didn't actually say that, but in my head I'm like, the fuck you call me, like, why you, I'm sorry, my apologies for the cuss words, but in the moment I was just so upset, and I was like in my head thinking like, don't tell me to calm down. I laugh about it now, but there was nothing funny about it in that moment. Sometimes we get into this like riled up state, and we have timelines and we have this and that, and it's like, take a deep breath, everything is going to be okay. You're not doing yourself or those around you any service whatsoever with constantly, being in this, intense mood. I feel that it only accentuates the negative feelings more. Like, it only makes it worse, in my opinion, and in my experience at least. We begin with awareness by exiting autopilot mode. We must slow down to speed up the growth. Sit down and name your emotions. This has been such a big game changer for me. It's important to figure out what emotion you are feeling in that moment and name it. And of course, it's very difficult at first, and it's gonna take you many tries before maybe you get it on your first. I hope you do, but for me, it took years of trying. The reason naming your emotions help is because you separate yourself from the emotion and the feeling. And so once you can separate yourself from that and realize that whatever negative thoughts you're having or emotion is its own thing, when you do this and you break it down and you remove yourself, almost look at yourself from a third person's perspective and look at the situation and whatever you're stressing about from the outside. A lot of times it's such a minor thing. Like, once you break it down, it's like, I was stressing for no reason, and it ended up being not that deep in the long run. It's important to remember the grand vision, essentially where you want to go, because a lot of times when you look at things like zoomed out, it's easier to visualize that way. When you zoom out of things, every problem gets smaller and smaller. You're zooming out and you're looking at the bigger picture, and you realize that stressing about traffic in that moment, one, didn't help you get any happier or get there any faster. And it's not a big problem in the bigger picture. Like 10-20 minutes in traffic is really not holding you back from your bigger purpose and your bigger mission. The only thing that kind of does slow you down from the opportunities is having that negative mindset. Everything is energy in this world. If we were to put our hands under an adequate microscope, we were to look at it down to the atomic level, you would see energy running through it. There is such thing as high vibrations and low vibrations. It's not like woo-woo how people usually portray it, but it's quite literally joy and excitement and love and gratitude are high vibrations. And so anger, sadness, the opposite of gratitude, all of those negative feelings are low vibrations. And so it's very difficult to attract the right opportunities for you when you're not at the same vibrational levels of those people that would offer those opportunities. I hope that makes sense. We mentioned that we must slow down the way we speak and the way that we feel emotions, in the sense that it is beneficial to sit with your emotions, name them, and analyze why it is that you're feeling that way. When you slow down and take your time with essentially taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, it raises your vibrations. When you take a moment to quite literally breathe, you're telling your system that you're safe. And so a lot of times we go into our 3 defense modes, and that's fight, freeze, or flight. These modes can look in different ways for everybody. The defense mechanism doesn't look the same for everybody. And so fight for somebody might, for example, be receiving some sort of feedback or criticism and reacting to it in the form of either an excuse or getting offended by it rather than questioning and listening and asking about it. Flight could be avoiding a difficult conversation. It could be avoiding an argument. Like, it looks different for everybody. The reason for this was to protect ourselves. Obviously, we were quite literally in danger from getting eaten by like a bear or a tiger while we were out hunting for our food. This was like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, but we still have subconsciously those natural ways of protecting ourselves. They just show up differently nowadays because the risk of us losing our lives outside is lower. We feel attacked in a different way than we would have back then, but the reaction is essentially the same. And actually what happens to your nervous system and your entire emotional state is very similar to what would happen in that. Like, your heartbeat races, you start to feel nervous or fearful. Taking a deep breath literally slows down your heart rate, and so this helps maneuver through that difficult situation a little bit better and a little bit easier. And when you get used to slowing down in every task that you do, I'm not saying be a sloth, but I'm simply saying to take your time in the way that you do things. This builds a level of patience and grace, not only for yourself, but for other people. So if you continue to practice it, essentially what you're doing is opening up the ability to not only grow, but to, again, have more patience for other people and for yourself. Like, the more that you expose yourself in difficult situations, difficult environments, difficult conversations, the easier it'll be for you to maneuver through those things in a calm and, collected way. And essentially that'll translate to everything too. It'll translate to relationships, it'll translate to work, to traffic. It's going to be very beneficial for you. So we want to slow down in all areas of our behavior So you can allow yourself time to process, to understand, and become aware of who you are. You give yourself the time to think and analyze, to reflect on who you truly are, the things that trigger you, the things that don't, what you like, what you don't like, where you see yourself now, where do you see yourself in the future, how did you see yourself in the past. It allows for you to build the awareness of understanding yourself and understanding why you react to certain things the way that you do, and why you have certain thoughts and emotions and feelings towards certain things. Slow down your consumption, the way you read, the way you analyze information, record it, and apply it. In today's day and age, we have a disease called doom scrolling, and unfortunately we are consuming a ton of information, oftentimes useless information, from the moment that we wake up to the moment that we go to sleep. It's very unfortunate, but it is the world that we live in, and there's a good thing about the easy access of information that we have, and that is that we can literally educate ourselves to a PhD level in whatever subject you desire, practically for free or for the fraction of a cost that it would cost to go to college. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't use their resources that way. We use the resources to distract ourselves, to spend time doing things that are easy so we can forget about the discomfort and the pain, or whatever it is that we're going through mentally. It's very important to slow down your consumption, and by that I mean to cut down on watching TikTok, Instagram, cut down on watching negative things, toxic shows, negative toxic music, anything negative. And by toxic I mean anything that is not an addition to your higher self, to the person that you want to be, to your purpose, whatever that may be for you, to being a better daughter, wife, husband, whatever it is that you desire to get better in. Essentially, cutting down on consumption, specifically negative consumption, is going to allow you to have, again, better relationships, essentially make more money, because you can allow yourself the space to become somebody who people want to pay a lot of money to, because of the value that they bring into any environment that they're in. That's what I mean by slowing down your consumption. I'm writing this book very, very intentionally. Everything that I've poured into here are things that have been very, very difficult for me to learn and understand, and oftentimes I do find myself rewatching and repeating and rereading things to truly comprehend every single word. If I hear, see, or read a word that I don't understand, I literally go and look up the meaning of the word so I can fully comprehend the entire message. We take a message, but we don't really take it in. You gotta look at the whole picture to truly understand the meaning. Take your time. If you're gonna learn something, truly learn it. Truly learn the thing. Learn to explain it, learn to apply it, learn to do it, learn about it. Allow yourself the grace to dive into the subject and truly become a master at it. Excuse my French, but half-assing things, half-assing your way through life with everything that you do and touch, and then complain about having great relationships, not making enough money, not being healthy, this and that. And it's hard to ask to receive those things when you don't even put the full amount of work that is required for you to become that person that has those things. And honestly, this message is for the old me. This message is for me too, to come back to it and rewatch it and reread it, as many times as I need, because I've been there. This is all from experience, and this, like I said, this really is something. I wish I knew these things years ago. That would have saved me from so much pain. It would have saved me from so many broken friendships and relationships, and it would have saved me from harming so many people and myself for so many years. So I'm sharing everything that I wish I knew 5, 10, 15 years ago. So by slowing down, being aware, and developing those habits of truly understanding something. You start to become aware of yourself and the world around you and how the world around you looks at you. So become aware of everything that you say, think, and do, even down to the way that you walk and sit, like your posture when you sit down and when you're walking. Are you walking like, or are you walking with your head up, shoulders back, confident in yourself? That really dictates everything in your life, the way that you see yourself and the way that other people see you, and the opportunities essentially that you receive and get or don't get. I've definitely, and you tell me if you've experienced this before, but I have definitely been in a place where like I'll say something and I'll be like, I didn't mean that. I think we've all been there where we've said something that we didn't mean. And the way that we can avoid that is by slowing down. Once again, I literally have a post of both my tattoo Instagram and my life coaching Instagram that says slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I've gotten so many benefits out of that. It's incredible. But I used to be like, I even used to walk so fast and like have zero patience for, again, traffic. You already heard that story. And just a million other things, and talk really, really fast. And sometimes if I'm really excited about a topic, I sometimes do. But everything else, for the most part, I try to slow down, because slow is smooth and smooth is fast. When you're in a rush and you're like everything just goes wrong. Like, I don't know if it's happened to you, but you're in a rush and you're trying to do this and you get this and then this falls on the floor and you break this, and it's like, if you would have just slowed down, you could have avoided a lot more stress. Okay, I think you guys got the point of slowing down. I really, really believe that this book is going to help millions of people through generations. Like, when I'm gone, this book is going to remain, and it's going to continue to help so many people. I'm so excited. But I think I'm going to cut it short and continue this on a different video. We're 30 minutes in, and I've only done one page so far. So we're going to have to cut this down into a series and do a ton of different videos on it for sure. But I think the last and most important thing that I'm going to leave you with is to ask questions and to be curious. When you ask questions and you become curious to not only the environment around you, but yourself and the people around you and everything that you consume and everything that you learn and everything that you watch and see, you're going to want more. Learning is quite literally the best addiction that you can have. Like, when you start learning things, you only want to learn more and learn more, and it's such a beautiful thing, because this makes you more interesting, and this makes people want to talk to you, and this makes you be able to talk about a ton of different subjects and topics without feeling unqualified to do so. If you obviously master that subject, we're never going to get to a point where we know everything. We're always learning and growing, and that's literally life. But we can become more educated so that we can have better, more interesting conversations and provide value to the people that surround us, so we can teach our kids and our friends and our family and the people that we love, teach them things that are going to bring them value, and learn from them too, because if you ask questions, inevitably you're going to learn something. Interested to be interesting. So when you're interested into something or someone, you're going to ask questions, and that's going to make you interesting, because you're going to learn things that you wouldn't have if you wouldn't have asked the questions otherwise. I hope this helps. I hope that you enjoyed this and learned something from it. I will see you on the second page, because we only did one page. So I will see you on the second page of my book. I'm really excited to share all of this with you and continue to do so. I loved making this for you. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and share this video. Comment. I love to hear any ideas that came up. I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here.